These lands are an abhorrent place. Darkness swells in the distance, and like water down a mountain, it trickles into the minds of the feeble. There, it evolves, corrupting the very essence of its host, until all that remains is a vessel of hatred and arrogance. Long ago, the cities of Vardia flourished, with beings of all ilk living symbiotically. The vastness of resources allowed for great trade the world over. Crime was sparse, production at its peak. It was a time of growth for all. Then, like a wave, the darkness came, first infecting the majestic wildlife. Only a fraction managed to escape its grasp, maintaining the light within, whilst the rest fell for its allure, mutating slowly into savage beasts. Still, the wave moved, seeping into the minds of men, stirring animosity and greed. The once beautiful harmony between all beings now lay twisted and broken, as the human faction, whose minds are most easily corrupted, sought the right to rule above all else. Under the command of King Barian, all who were not human were driven from the great city of Omnis. This followed in every town and city the land over, until the human faction saw itself seated in every house of the old kingdom, but not without war pushing on their stead. 50 winters of blood and carnage! Too many lives pointlessly lost, too many to bury, so they were left to rot where they fell, and all was in vain, for the humans maintained their hold. Centuries passed, tales of the darkness fade to legend. Whilst the majority of the factions now live in harmony, each still have their respective kingdoms, and the symbiosis of long ago still seems a distant dream. The humans of the Old Kingdom still see themselves superior, raised with a malice toward the other factions they do not understand. If one desires for the return of such a perfect existence, one must firstly remember the past, for there to be any hope of changing the future. But not just any being could bring about a change as great as this, for it must be one of extraordinary circumstance, one born with the power and determination to achieve greatness, leading all other factions in an uprising to conquer the darkness. A fearless soul, a true Voyager. Through a dark forest emerges a figure. Their long, dark hair, blowing violently in the wind, extends past a thick, bushy beard. As the figure crosses the border between forest and open land, we see him more clearly. A warrior. It is a clear, starry night, with the light of the moon glinting off his battle-worn armour. He looks around the open area. In the far distance to the north, a myriad of mountains. To his left, a small rocky hill. A few hours pass. Our warrior sits afoot the rocky hill, shielded from the wind. In front of him sits a roaring fire, with a primitive spit above. Finishing his final bite of meat, he throws the bone into the fire. His armour lies on the side of him like a hunk of wrought metal. On the other, a satchel. Thrusting his hand inside, the warrior pulls out a peculiar object. A large green crystal.
Why were you guarded so heavily?
Faint mumbled whispers seem to emanate from the crystal. The mumbling continues. The warrior stands, grasping his sword.
There's someone there. I can hear you talking.
What
the hell?
A spirited jig, it dances bright, banishing all but darkest night. Give it food and it will live. Give it water and it will die.
I wonder.
He tosses the crystal into the fire. With a small bang and a flash of smoke, a voice emanates.
To whomever you may be that happened upon my crystal, I am Aethur, an elven mage from the Enoth outpost. I have terrible news and do not have the capacity to travel back to Firden, but word of my discovery must be heard. Please heed this warning. The prophecy has begun. Drisden has been banished from the realm of the gods.
Why does that sound so familiar?
He is here, in these lands. I saw a spark of light in the skies, and then a violent impact beyond the mountain. Myself and other members headed out to investigate the mysterious event, and that is when we saw it. Kinsplitter. The battle axe of Drisden lodged into the side of the mountain. We ran back to the post and awaited to see what transpired. Night came.
Suddenly, the voice stops and the flames are reduced to mere embers.
What on earth was that? And who was it meant for?
To the warrior's surprise, the crystal is still whole.
I should find an elven mage. Could be important.
Reaching out, he touches the crystal with the tip of his finger. It's warm, but not hot.
Strange.
I'm strong enough to smash ships, but
Oh,
I
not
fear
again.
the sun.
Get back in the bag.
Suddenly alert, Voyager stands up again. Hand on the hilt of his sword, and deigning the battered armour, he walks towards the sound. Treading carefully, he eventually sees a light in the distance. He moves closer, releasing his hand from the hilt. What have we here? Your scent is not as pungent as other folk and beasts in this land, which leads me to believe that you must be the Adroit Voyager.
Aye, I am. How do you know me?
I've been wondering when first we would meet. Tales of your heroics travel far and wide.
Your senses are keen. Who are you?
I am Safrax of Naltegra, a land quite a journey from where we now dwell. I am a blacksmith, as you well may have guessed from my abode.
A blind blacksmith? How does that work?
Don't let my blindness fool you, Voyager. I assure you, my skills as a weaponsmith are unprecedented. Now, allow me a closer look at your weapon.
If you must.
Ah, yes, a sturdy weapon. Although, there is work to be done here. A sword of this caliber will only get you so far. If you are to take on beasts and demons alike, this sword in its current state won't get you very far at all.
That sword has served me well. It can handle any beast I thrust it in.
Preposterous! You are in Haran now. You have not seen adversaries like ours. I have the skills required to fashion a serious weapon of might, but I require several things in exchange. What say you, Adroit Voyager? Voyager notices the blacksmith's wares. Remarkable and sharp, an arsenal fit for battle.
I'll deign to trust you, blacksmith. The quest set out before me is uncertain.
Marvellous. What I require is not easy to obtain. Carry on along the path before you until you reach a ruined fighting pit. Residing within is a beast of no remorse, the Hellion. Bring me its heart and claws, and I will craft you this weapon. Return to me once the deed is done. Farewell.
You could at least tell me something about this Hellion. Any weaknesses I shall be aware of? Is there just one of them?
She is weak to ice. Speaking of which, here, take these.
What are they?
Ice crystal oils. Apply them to your blade. They will give you a fighting chance against her. She may be just one, but she is fierce. May the gods favour you.
Right. See thee soon.
He sets off down the path, not knowing exactly what awaits. An hour later, he arrives. Perched on the side of the path, just before the pit, he applies the oil to his blade. It's cold to the touch.
Bugger. Great. I just walked the damn thing.